how to turn one of these. Right guys, now as you'll have to get the original Wolver kit to do this modification, I've had to modify some parts of, obviously, to make it work. Now, the original kit comes, the AKS comes with this big deep forestock because that's the shape of the blaster, and so that necessitated this piece here, which he calls a slider. This is slider part 01, this is slider part 02. Now this allows you to cock the weapon. You have a hole here with a steel screw insert which takes that, which allows you to cock it that way, or you have this part here, sticks down, got a little tooth piece, fits in, and a handle that slides over the lot of it, and you put a screw through and lock it in. So you've got two methods of cocking the blaster. Now, I couldn't use this part as is for the Dragunov because this forestock is so thin, it gets to about there before it jams. I actually modelled the slot in and printed it. But anyway, so I've left it in. If you want to close it with your software, that's fine. So what I've done to get around that, I've just modified this front part. Pretty straightforward and easy. Just cut off the bottom completely, as you can see. There's a curve in the base that fits over that rod there, and the top of this has been flattened because it is a very, very tight fit, as you can see, but it does fit. Very easy to get in. So that's just how I've modified it. I've included both a left and right-handed one of these for left and right-handed blasters, and also a left and right-handed foregrip. You just have to put the right one in. And once you've printed it and assembled, it should work just the same. You just don't have the undergrip cocking lever. Right, now before you can install the foregrip, you have to insert two rubber grommets inside the foregrip. They go in a plate on the original blaster. You'll see it in step 21. So those rubber grommets are here in this wall in the centre, which is quite thick, as you can see. But pretty easy to get them in. That one you can practically push in, that one just you need a screwdriver. Shouldn't be a problem. So putting this thing together, you just angle it like that, slide it up, and if you position the bottom one in its hole, the top one virtually lines itself up, and you just push it together on the same four pins that Rance includes in the hardware kit. So that's locked into place. Now to tighten those two screws that hold it might be an issue to get in there, and it is a bit of an issue, but it's not easily solved with something like this I've bodged up. It's a 1/4 inch driver with a hex head. The two screws are in there, and what I've done on this one, I've just cut a slot there to make it easier for me to see what I'm doing. But on the 3D printed version, I've modified, there's a nice neat 10mm slot because this thing is 9.5mm thick. So you just stick it through. The bottom screw, you can just look through the one of the vents, look through that vent, and you can just screw it straight in. So once you've done the bottom one, and this is the reason I put the slot in, because that'll go through there, but that one won't. So you put it through there, then move it up or down. And what I do, I move it up virtually in line, and I can look through the bottom hole to see where the bolt is. The hex head screw, and I've got it in. And I'm just tightening it up. There we go. And it's all come out in one piece. There we go. Done. So nice and strong. Pretty straightforward, very easy. Guys, once you've got your front stock on, you can put your top strap on, and this isn't painted because I've been working on it again. So this just slides in like so, and as you can see from the hole, they all line up. Now there should be a brass insert in this hole, but I've just run out, so at the moment I'll just have to pretend. So that goes there. So as you can see, you put screws through these holes, and this strap also acts as another brace, locking the front and back together. Then you've got the top cover. So when you put it on, make sure these arms at the side aren't getting pushed out by the center strap, and just push it up there until it bottoms out on that. So there's your top strap done. So you can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you want screws through there to support that. Now on this bit it's got a recess that allows you to put the iron sights in. Again, printed aftermarket, and this is actually a bad one. This one failed. I've lost the original. But that goes there, screw goes through there, straight into the brass insert, holds it in place, and it's positioned such that you can reach that screw hole there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put the stock on. It's 3 pieces. There's a join here. In my bamboo I put a dovetail join, so there's 1, 2 and the extender. I did that simply because I felt it was a bit too short for me. So that's the stock there. It's got a 5mm hole here, and what I've done here, that's the carrying loop, which is a metal bolt. So what I did, I got myself a 5mm bolt, I cut the head off, ground a slot in it like for a screwdriver, screwed it in there. When I got to this point, I coated the thread with epoxy resin and screwed it in, so it's not coming out, and it's very strong, and you can hang a strap from that. In the end you'll see 2 holes. Bottom one's a 5mm, top one I think is 4. I put a 5mm threaded rod through that all the way up, comes right up to about here for extra strength. And the top one, I couldn't find something that was a tight fit. The closest I could get was an old knitting needle of my wife's, which was about 3.6. So I injected epoxy resin in there and pushed the needle down, and that goes all the way up to there. That's just to give the thing a bit of extra strength. So when you print it upright so those holes remain clear and you don't have to worry about trying to get support material out of them. You've got your plate, and it's got a little lug on it. You've got a space there. The lug off-centered it slightly towards the top, so you can only get it on one way, and you just screw that on with a couple of little screws. Right, so once you've got your forestock on, you can put your rear stock on. Now, the trigger guard is just a little bit of basically spring-loaded plastic. Stays in there on its own tension. It's a little bit loose, but when you slide the stock on, just make sure it's held but parallel with this lug that the stock goes in. That way the stock slides over it and holds it in position, like so. Now, on this particular one I've got this checkering on it. That was because I used the original pistol grip that Rance had, and I just added the rest. This checkering does not feature on any Dragunov I can see online. It's not on the wooden ones. Indeed, it's not even on the plastic polymer stocks you can get. You can paint this to look like wood, or you could paint it glossy, semi-gloss black to make it look like polymer. There is even a folding stock version which has a tubular triangular stock that latches up here somewhere. Cheek pad on, and what it is, I've got this Velcro like material. Came with something I bought recently, can't remember what. The base fits over the stock, and then you just pull the Velcro material over and push it together, and it just holds it in place. That's all I'm using. You could try something else. You could put an elastic band there or something. Right, now to start off, here's my muzzle and here's my barrel. Now you'll notice this is just a piece of PVC pipe because I haven't got a proper metal barrel yet. I'm trying to source one, but it's the same diameter outside as the metal. Inside it's different. But so first thing first, just slips on like that. I've got a little bit of tape over the end of this just to tighten it up. Next is the gas block. Now originally I printed this in 2 parts, which is on my actual model, as you can see. Boom boom. Didn't need to, so it's printed in 1 part now, and it just slides on the barrel and again it's held just by a little bit of tape on the surface of that just to keep it tight. So that's your barrel assembly basically, and the barrel itself is the same length as an actual barrel in a Dragunov, 680 millimeters from memory. Okay guys, once you've got your foregrip on, you got your front plate, you got 3 brass inserts you put in, line them up, and just 3 socket head screws. I could have made a front plate that actually slotted into the forestock, but that would necessitate some sort of attachment points at the side, and I wanted to keep it looking as original as possible, I guess is the term. So they're nice and tight. Now all you do now is you get your barrel and you slot it in the first hole. Then you have to slot it through a hole in the centre of this wall, which is relatively easy, just takes a little bit of finagling. And the last thing is, I don't know if you can see it, it goes down into the chamber and it just pops straight in, just like that. And you can put your, pull it back a bit, put your gas block in. Now this will all be one piece, so you won't have to worry about this part. There we go. Once you've got your stock on, bring it up to your eye like you're actually aiming it. You look down the rail and the foregrip and make sure that the sight at the front is level with the top of the foregrip right there. And you're ready to go. So once you've got that done, you can put your scope on. Right, now the rail that holds the scope on has been moulded, so it's got a lug at the front which fits into this lug that normally holds the catch for the folding stock. So you just put that in, press it down, clicks into place, and I've got M2 by 12 millimeter screws that I just use to hold it in place. These points where they screw in have been chosen so they don't impinge on anything else internally and cause all sorts of problems. Right guys, now for the scope, first thing you need to know is the rail has got a trapezoid shape slot that this was meant to slot into. What happened though, when I pulled this part off the rail base, the actual center of it, the trapezoid part, didn't come. It just stayed with the build plate. So I was going to print another one, but I decided to check first, and luckily enough it's just a press fit, so it sits on there, and I'm not going to print and waste more filament printing something I've already got when that's not going to show. Okay, so what I did, I modified the rail and I put a 3 millimeter brass insert right there. That's all I needed to do. So for the rest of the scope, it's 6 pieces. That's the base, that's the scope body, that's the front, that's the rear, that part, that's what I call the eyepiece, and that's from TPU, and that's the front cover, and that's also TPU. You might see a green tinge. I only had green TPU, so I've just sprayed it black. Now putting the scope together is pretty basic. You take the base there, and there's 2 holes in the base where you put a 3 millimeter brass insert, and then put these over and put a screw through the holes. Now in my case, my holes are too big. I think I used the wrong drill bit, or it had a burr on it or something, so I just cut a couple of washers, so they'd fit around those screw holes and things, and I could get it screwed in. And it just screws it in, and it pulls the whole shape into the same shaped trough there. So you've got like a stepped trough there. The other side is a bit more work on the washer, cutting a couple of bits off, but goes in the same way. Okay, straightforward. There's your base. So once you've done the body with the base, you can then move on to either end, doesn't matter. You've got the eyepiece, which is done in TPU in the rear of the scope. You just pry the eyepiece on. There's a groove on the rear of, on the inside of the eyepiece, and there's a lug on the outside of this piece. They just fit together. And I printed some lenses, which you can print out of resin. I've done them in orange because I was printing a Blade Runner grip for the pistol. I just printed those out just to test the fit, and it works fine. Just fits in there like that. Now this bit is far too short. I have to use a couple of screws, and because I've got to use a couple of screws, that lens gets in the way. So I won't be putting that in for the moment. Now on the STL I've already increased that in length and a tiny bit of thickness, so it's a much tighter fit. But I'll put that there. I'll get my teeny tiny screwdriver and put these screws in. Right, so I've screwed that in with a couple of screws. You obviously won't need that, it'll just slots in. If it's a little bit loose, wrap a single wind of masking tape around it, stick it in, or you can glue it in. It's up to you guys. Now the front, same thing. As you can see, I've got a bit of masking tape there just to make it a bit tight. That just goes in there like that. Stays about that far away. And these slots stay on the side. Right, so you've got the end cap on. And now here's the dust cover, and it's got two little holes in it mounted here, and all you do is put that on the side like that and push it up so it's touching, and then have a heated pin or a heated pen vise and just push down through there and make a couple of holes. That's all you need to do. And once those holes are in place, you can just chuck a screw in each one of these. These are little, again, M2s. I think they're 6mm. Position it like that, hanging down, so when you put the cover up it just naturally goes up into place, and place them over the holes and screw them in. So they're screwed in now. That can just go on there. You can glue that in if you want, it's up to you. And then all you have to do then is get your Dragunov, one long screw. And because this is just a press fit, just position it over the brass insert, press it down, put the screw in, and Bob's your uncle. There you go. And that is your Dragunov finished. Oh, don't forget to put the cocking handle on. That's just a 4mm hex head screw. Comes with the hardware kit. That's the hardware part. That's the STL part that comes with the kit as well. And that's it. All done. One finished Dragunov.